Good afternoon, KSRA folks. We're glad that you joined us. And we want to wrap up our discussions about House Bill 2502 this afternoon with our PAC chair. It's a Political Action Committee Chairman, Moriah Day. He's also on our board of directors for the KSRA. But we wanted to just kind of wrap it up. You've maybe seen some media out there this weekend. We did put out a press release, and you might have saw that on the pages. And the press has gotten a hold of that as well, and so they have some quotes out there from us. But we want to just wrap the bill up very succinctly for you, and point by point, and not get into all the minutia and all the details necessarily as we have with I think we've had 5 so far guys that we've interviewed. You can go back and watch those videos on our YouTube channel, which is Kansas State Rifle Association video. Kansas State Rifle Association video, or you can go on any of our Facebook pages and find those as well. So, and watch them at their full length, 30-minute, 40-minute videos. But this afternoon, Moriah, welcome.
Thank you, Lyle. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about the PAC and what that means.
Okay. The Political Action Committee, or PAC as it's called, basically is the political arm of the Kansas State Rifle Association. We focus on legislation, monitoring legislation as it's passing through the process, and then after legislation is passed, after the legislature is adjourned, then we go into campaign mode in a sense and focus on making sure that pro-gun legislators and statewide officials, local electeds, all get elected or reelected to office, and that we avoid having individuals who are anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment in office. So we focus on a lot of funding issues, and then also motivation, activism, that type of thing, trying to get people active and motivated to elect pro-gun legislators specifically.
Awesome. Well, thank you for explaining that. Moriah and I we work closely together on a lot of different things, and we enjoy that. But
absolutely.
Back to 2502, House Bill 2502, the mega gun bill that was just signed on Wednesday by Governor Brownback. Can you just go down point by point through that and just wrap that up for folks here this afternoon?
Sure. So I'd like to take a little more of the political perspective. I think that's kind of what we're looking for here. Others have done a great job in the past videos that you mentioned, Lyle, with kind of explaining the ideas behind the bill and the process and that type of thing. But I'd specifically like to talk about kind of where we go from here. 2502 has a lot of different provisions, as our viewers know already from watching other videos and such. Specifically, like the first provision that talks about allowing public employees to carry while on the job out and about, in state-owned vehicles or county-owned vehicles, whatever. That provision, I think, is very beneficial from a political perspective because our Political Action Committee can go and support and oppose legislators based on their vote for these types of issues. Does a legislator support the ability of a citizen who happens to work for the state or a local municipality? Does that legislator support that person's ability to defend themselves? It's pretty basic. And those type of issues are things that we can work with politically in a race for state house, state senate, that type of thing. And it's very similar with these other issues too. For instance, the BB gun bill portion of 2502, that bill was introduced because we had an issue down in Derby, in that area. And it's very useful from my perspective to have votes on bills like this, votes on these type of issues that we can then point to when we have our ratings of candidates in conjunction with the NRA, and we can rate those candidates based on these votes, and it really helps us know who to support and who to oppose.
Exactly. One of the big issues that has come up in the media, and maybe we ought to address just a little bit more, is the public employee thing. That's been you and I both have noticed all that, how that's been picked up on. And folks are very concerned about that. People come in my yard armed type of thing. Maybe you can give a political perspective on that as well, but maybe there's also a practical perspective. You actually work, and we won't, unless you want to say who you work for, but you do work for the state yourself.
I do, actually, yes. My full-time job, I work for the state of Kansas, actually in the Secretary of State's office. So I do that full-time. That's my full-time job, and do these political things on the side in my spare time, just as a concerned citizen and volunteer. So I deal with some of these issues kind of on a regular basis with my
Absolutely.
day job. And a few years ago, with the state capitol closed to concealed carry at the time, we dealt with a lot of those issues, from an employment perspective. And then, those laws have since been changed and policies have been changed, that type of thing. And it's gotten a lot easier for individuals that are interested in practicing self-defense to be able to do so. And the environment has changed a lot as far as state and municipal laws and rules go relating to concealed carry, and our viewers already know that. But from a political perspective, I guess, more than just the employment perspective or experience perspective, these issues, I think, are very significant because we already have concealed carry in Kansas. We've had that for a while. We've had open carry forever. So those issues, are kind of, we're working to protect them, but we're not making a whole lot of headway necessarily on those issues because we're already kind of there. But issues like, public employees being able to carry on the job are very pertinent to where we're at today. And a lot of legislators and others have expressed concerns, even on the floor, that they're worried that some public employee is going to be coming on their property with a weapon. I think those concerns are groundless, and that can be proven, I think, by the fact that we haven't seen any examples of lawful concealed carry holders committing major crimes, in Kansas. And there's not the blood in the streets that a lot of people claimed was going to be the case. Experience tells us that these fears are groundless, and I think they're frequently just excuses that the anti-gun group puts forward to oppose the Second Amendment.
One thing politically speaking, what you were pointing out too, when we rate, or the PAC does, and the NRA rates various legislators, or the legislature at large, excuse me. But one thing people don't see is there are some folks who will vote a certain way on, let's say in the House, for instance, during debate, the way it runs, a bill will come up on general orders on the House calendar, and they'll be brought up to the floor for debate by the leadership on general orders. And you may get a vote, which will be a voice vote many times, sometimes, or it can be a divided or vote with a actual an account roll call vote, as it would be. And somebody might vote one way then, and then when it comes to final action, which is when the the bill is actually passed or not passed, and then they vote totally different. Tell how we keep track of that.
Yeah, so it's a very complicated process, and I don't need to get into all the cliches of that are used to describe that process, but really it's very complicated, and a lot of legislators, unfortunately, can get away with opposing a pro-gun bill all the way up until that final vote, and then voting for it and calling themselves pro-Second Amendment. And that's things like that are hard to deal with from a PAC perspective, because our political action committee really needs those votes to rate candidates and all that type of thing. Thankfully, we've had the ability to have either a lobbyist or individuals on our board of directors as the KSRA, or individuals like myself and you, Lyle, that can be involved in the process, even there at the State House. And Patricia Stone King did an amazing job of that when she was president of the KSRA. Just being there for every vote, being there for every discussion, basically, and witnessing what really happened. And you really have to have that kind of perspective to make educated decisions when it comes to these type of things.
And some of that did happen with 2502.
That is true, yeah. And our members, I think, are somewhat aware of that. Some of that was really complicated and confusing, even for us. We were watching it every day, but it was on general orders originally as SB 65, and then pulled off, and all that was kind of confusing. But it's part of the process, and things go wrong sometimes, things go right sometimes, and in the end, fortunately, we were able to get everything worked out and communicate with people, and got 2502 passed. So
yeah,
very happy about that.
And we are. I mean, it's a great piece of legislation. We're very happy that the governor signed it, and I think it'll, of course, you and I both believe that it'll help out in so many different areas, whether it's with the kids, with BB gun, air gun competitions, throughout the state, or active duty personnel, military personnel, that being able to get their CCL, public buildings. I mean, there's so much clarification that's now, and help that's come. And there's still work to do. There's always more work to do each year. People think, well, we got it all done. In fact, I saw that on one of our pages. Well, it's all done now. No, it's not all done.
Yeah, wish that was the case.
Yeah,
make our jobs a lot easier, but it's unfortunately not. We've got a long ways to go still, even though we're arguably the most pro-gun state in the union, and arguably have made the most progress of any state in the union over the past 10 years or so. But,
yes, and we're thankful that we do have the legislators that we do, that have had the gumption to stand up for the Second Amendment, like they have.
Absolutely, we've had some real champions in the legislature. Both this session and previous sessions, we've had some real champions that have stood up for these issues and been there, through thick and thin, even when they get yelled at or get pulled from special assignments or whatever. But they're the real deal. So definitely thankful for that.
And something to just kind of add to this conversation, we may be working on, is we're working with this new experience that we're doing with doing YouTube videos and so on. Moriah, maybe you're going to be helping me out a little bit potentially with this during this session. He has some videographer or videographic experience and photography experience, and like I do, and so we're going to be working together and having guys on and interviewed, right? Maybe they're in the State House.
Yeah, really looking forward to hopefully being able to do that.
So. But well, we wanted to get it just kind of wrapped up and moving on. July 1st is the day. I've been asked this twice today. In fact, I think it was twice. When's it become effective? July 1st.
Yep.
2016. 2502 becomes effective. July 1st, 2017 is when I think some people get those dates confused. Can you explain that just for folks?
Sure.
2016 and the 2017 date.
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. The 2017 date, July 1st, 2017, would be the exemptions for a lot of buildings, like, for instance, the colleges. That's the main one. Colleges have an exemption that was put into Public Building Security Act a while back, and that exemption is set to run out on July 1st, 2017. So that's the date for that. July 1st of this year, 2016, is when this bill 2502 goes into effect, And of course, you can look on our Facebook pages and the YouTube videos for details on exactly what that entails. And Lyle does an amazing job of filling people in on the Facebook groups and that type of thing too. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them out to us, and we'll get them answered.
Absolutely, and it's a team effort. I always say that on our Facebook pages. It's a team effort, and you're part of that team. And some people don't know the faces that are behind what's going on. And our president, Kathleen Wade, very, very influential and helpful. Travis Couture Lovelady, who is the NRA ILA liaison for the state of Kansas, as well as one of our board members, very helpful. And we've all worked together as a legislative team, and then some other folks as well previously to that during the year as well to get this together. So it's not just me or any one person. It's a team effort to even get press releases and stuff out. So, well, that gives folks a good picture, I think, of the Political Action Committee. If they want to give, let's just say that here at the end. If somebody says, you know, I want to do something, and I'm not politically savvy or anything, but I've got a dollar bill or two I'll give to you.
Sure.
How do they give to the PAC, the Political Action Committee?
Sure. Well, definitely. If you have a dollar or two to spare, we'll not turn that down. We use all of that money for helping fund candidates, like I said, that have passed muster as supporters of the Second Amendment and are rated and endorsed by the KSRA in conjunction with the NRA. We'll be working very closely right after the filing deadline for office. That's June 1st. We'll be working closely with Travis Couture Lovelady and the NRA to make those ratings and make the endorsements then. And so if you'd like to donate to that cause, we would be very pleased to accept that donation. You can go to our website, the KSRA website, and it's linked, I believe, on our Facebook and YouTube and everything. You can go to that website and donate there, and we really appreciate any support you can give. It goes directly to the cause. So thank you.
Absolutely. And Moriah and I are actually working on some fundraising shoots. One coming up June 11th at Godfrey's Indoor Shooting Ranges in Junction City, and folks will be hearing about that on the pages coming up. So
yeah, I'd love to have people there.
Yeah, so we'll get that. But 2502, House Bill 2502, signed by the governor. It is now law, or not, excuse me, pardon me. It will be law July 1st. See, I'm mixing people up here. July 1st of this year. Right now it is May 14th. So you got another roundabout month and a half, okay, until House Bill 2502 and all of its pieces actually become law. In the state of Kansas, but it is passed, signed, sealed, and delivered, and then will be implemented. So, all right, well, just to get it all wrapped up. So, and I appreciate it, Moriah, so much that coming on, and I know you had a very busy day today.
It was busy, but that's all right. Par for the course.
Yeah, Moriah stays very busy and all kinds of different activities with church and so on and so forth. Very active, and we appreciate him. I appreciate him as a friend too. So,
well, thank you, Lyle.
But
appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, if you want to check us out again, check out our website, ksraweb.org.com or .net. We own all of those domains. So it's ksraweb.org or .net or .com. You can find our website there. Come onto our Facebook pages, as you might have heard through this. That's probably how you got connected with us, maybe through Twitter. Who knows? Our Twitter handle's at KSRA, or excuse me, it's at KS Rifle ASSN. It's KS Rifle ASSN. And the PAC is actually, you guys have a Twitter handle.
We do, yeah. Yes. They can find that on Twitter, and you just search KSRA PAC is the easiest. That's typically the easiest for finding us. But I can give it to you here real quick too. but usually the easiest is just go to Twitter and search it, but it's at KSRA PAC. So it's just pretty simple.
Yeah.
They can look us up there and also on Facebook as well. So
Yes.
happy to see as many people as possible.
Yeah. So stay tuned with us, and we'll get information out to you, and it will be unfiltered information. We don't filter through it and give you funky information. Try to give you the truth. So thanks for joining us this afternoon. And again, this is May 14th today is when we're filming this. So if you're watching it sometime later on, that's when we're filming this. But good to have you watching this afternoon. And if you watch it later, thank you too. And for us from the KSRA for this week, which has been a very busy 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks have been, have a great weekend, guys, and stay safe, be alert, and do what's right, okay? We'll talk to you later, and thanks for joining us. Talk to you later.